Hi, I'm Steve Filipovic, and I'm here interviewing the Green City Councilors, Jane Sterk from Esquimalt and Sonya Chandler from Victoria. So you guys were just interviewed on the radio. How did it feel?
It was fun. I thought we did a good job of explaining what it means to be a green at a council table and what we bring to the table and how we're shaping the future of our municipalities.
Yeah, and I think it's nice for Jane and I to be able to do some of this stuff together. It's something that the Greens bring to the table that is unique, and that's that we can share some values cross municipality, cross province, cross country, and internationally, which is something that not all municipal councils are able to say. So it's fun to feel that support and be able to do something like this together.
Are the issues in Esquimalt similar to the issues in Victoria?
We have environmental concerns that are similar, sewage treatment, solid waste management, those kinds of issues.
How can changing and influencing zoning laws help build community?
Esquimalt is a fully built community, so a lot of this stuff is redevelopment of land, and so zoning can say our community needs to create public space through density, through mixing commercial and residential, through and we can bound that. We can say you can do that here, you can't do it over here. And so it can have a huge impact on the shape of a community for the future, I think.
And like I said earlier, trying to look at it like we're building communities versus building buildings. So when we're looking at zoning, not just how are we going to make a building that stands a certain way and doesn't block the sun in a certain way, but how does it encourage community? How does it encourage families to want to spend time in a certain neighborhood? Or how does it encourage seniors to feel comfortable to walk in their neighborhoods? I think that zoning is a huge challenge, certainly in Victoria. There's a lot of spot rezoning that happens, and there's a lot of community plans that are out of date, and there's a lot of people that want to have a say, and it's something that Victoria certainly struggles with, and I feel privileged to be at the table for some of these discussions, because to bring in, say, green building policy, to bring in the questions around, why aren't we saying, okay, every single building that gets built in Victoria has to have a minimum of a LEED Silver, which would set an environmental standard in Victoria that we have a right to demand. I mean, this is a territory that has been in place for thousands of years, and to acknowledge that and to respect it and to work in a way that honors it, I think, is our responsibility. So I just think that there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room to have impact when it comes to zoning.
I understand you guys went to the Urban World Forum that was recently held in Vancouver. What did you learn there?
Sonia and I both went over to the World Urban Forum. It was a UN conference. It was in Vancouver from June 19th to the 23rd. And they brought, there were 6,000 delegates from around the world, all parts of the globe. And a lot of the discussion, I was very impressed with folks from Latin America, particularly Brazil, where the whole concept of participatory budgeting has occurred. And that is where a community, a huge percentage of the community, will sit down and say, what are our priorities? And then they will say, this is how we want our budget allocated. And they tell the politicians how to do that. And it's a very exciting concept for me, because it really engages people of all income levels, of all locations, residential levels, and I've had some immediate resistance on the part of some of the council and the mayor, but I think you start small. They did that in Montreal. They created the Montreal Charter out of that kind of a process, engaged a huge number of people, and came out with a charter that says these are your rights as a citizen of Montreal and these are your responsibilities. So for me, it's a leap forward from the Canadian Charter of Rights.
How do you encourage people to get involved in this?
Jane and I put out the open invitation to folks that may be interested in participating in their community to contact the Greens in Victoria, either at our website, which I believe is victoriagreens.ca, or watching for some of the events that hopefully we'll be able to put on over the next few years, and participating either by, running for council, or by, there's a lot of ways to be involved in your community that we're hoping to document and provide access to residents that are interested in doing so. If nothing else, going out to vote for your next Green candidate.
The other thing that Sonya is doing, or started, the initiative is we're sort of identifying people that would be green leaning, not maybe Green Party members, but green leaning on each of the councils. And then just doing informal discussions with those folks, talking about what are the issues that are of concern to you.
Part of what I think the Greens are able to bring to the table too is the fact that it's about a value system. It's about seeking out those people that can sit and have this conversation, and maybe we don't always agree, and maybe there's something that we don't totally understand in the same way, but that we're willing to step forward and have this kind of a discussion and have this kind of dialogue. So I think it's really exciting that the kind of outreach that Jane and I are able to do in our respective positions.
And are the citizens responding to these green ideas you've been bringing to the table?
I'm getting lots of people that privately come up to me and say, we're really glad you're on council. And I think I'm getting very positive feedback from my mayor and several of the councillors who think that I bring something to the table that's unique and of value. So yeah, I feel like I'm getting lots of positive reward, positive feedback for what I'm doing.
I would say so too. It's really fun for me, and I think a really unique experience to have people say, I've never felt represented before in government, and I feel represented now. When I hear that, I just think it was worth it. I'm glad I did this, because that's a huge challenge that our government in Canada has, is how do we reach the populations that are currently not being reached, and I do. I think Jane and I do that, and it's exciting. It's fun to be a part of.
Well, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of all the Greens who now have representation on councils in the Victoria and Esquimalt areas. Thank you, Jane and Sonya.
Cheers.
Thank you.